Maybe in a minute or about. Mic check. 1, 2. Good evening. I'm Joshua Ross, but you can call me the ghost that's back from the dead in the land of the broken. And I've been single for a year. My ex was a ball of aggression. She downed the vodkas, I nursed the sessions. The privileged product of a 12-year recession. A twice broken dam of emotional repression. Telling a potential new boss I make a great second impression. Rebuilding the skills to have any discretion. Till then as loaded as Catholic confession. Praying yet fearing a Corbinic session. Flirting with the right to make a little money. Have you been doing it since 2012, honey? Can you tell me it ain't funny? And I've been single for a year and a half now. At first I sporadically sexted an old fling. She found it easy to meet my advance with rejection. She's flirting with finally going from bi to lesbian. Embroidering sewing, punching on her own business at her mum's spare room, dealing with her eating disorder. That I never knew about really, or never listened to closely. I tried, but I talked too much. When I go out to meet women, I like less than her to flirt with, to say nothing, to go home, to wank over arguments we could have had in the future. You know, schizophrenic conversations with imaginary exes. My dream threesome, Method Man with Texas. Brit Awards Say What You Want in 1998, YouTube recommends suggest this. A Kurt Angle, quadruple suplexes. Meet Wade Barrett, day one of the Nexus. London burns with New York duplexes. Stuff your face with Tex-Mexes. All my exes live in Texas. The moody bastard intentionally vexes. The Spinosaurus landed T-Rexes. Meet Wade Barrett, meet CM Punk, day one of the Nexus. A Kurt Angle on quadruple suplexes. A Spinosaurus in the land of T-Rexes. T-Rexes, big heads and small arms. Google best dinosaur. You just set the bar low to try and do the limbo, and you can't do the limbo. We're playing a reboot of Halo, Grand Theft Auto, Gran Turismo, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, ISS Pro, FIFA Year Zero. You're living your life on Ground Zero. Now I've quit smoking, I'm Carl Lewis. 200 metres, 400 metres. High jump, long jump, competing for silver and gold. An 8-week delay on a summer accountancy course. Spent the summer in bed. Maybe a bummer outside my own head. Nice guys finish last as they live the longest. Progress can't feel quite like it. I can't take a good reason to quit. I can't take a bad reason to quit. I work my way out of this shit. I dig my way out of a pit. I admit fears I don't admit. I shake my ass when I've cracked the whip. I forgive myself for every slip. I clean my room, it's still a tip. I'm the ghost. Goodbye. Been to every kind of school. started off at a nursery that was so posh, things kids was there. Moved to a reception class that was so posh, Jeremy Kiesel's kids were there. Went to a public school till I was 11, went to a grammar school till I was 16, went to in-between grammar and comprehensive. 16 to 18, went to Redbrook University, Sheffield. I just retrained at a scummy college in bookkeeping. I'm more comfortable at the bottom. Barnet College, oh, you beautiful beast. Worked in working class jobs, tried to be a chef, ended up sort of glorified dishwasher, working 60 hours a week, Michelin star people. Essex and Kent, and we'll put that fucking G with that fucking remoulade. I've had more friends I've fallen out with. I've worked in pubs, I've worked as a supply teacher, I've worked as an admin assistant, getting £10 out on a £1 billion London Bridge Station project. When you went in the morning, you see the immigrants, the asylum seekers being lined up to sign in for job forms. You could see the Stalinisation of Theresa May, Home Secretary face. Alright, let's see if we're going to attract any audience with Poem 2. Three, two. I've had more friends I've fallen out with than stints at my parents' house. More stints living with my parents than psychiatrists in a crisis. More psychiatrists in a crisis than exes I kind of miss. More exes I'd go for a drink with than temp jobs I've walked away from. More temp jobs I've walked away from than random flat shares in London. More temp jobs I've walked away from than long-term spells of unemployment. More temp jobs I've walked away from than the village people put together. And I'm bored. Phil Wang scored. With Ivo, Pierre and Ahir. I call them the new Bullingdon Club. I think they're so cool. Like James Dean meets Steve McQueen. I want to be with Hollow Dodon. Drinking lean, not Mr. Bean meets Mr. Sheen, but I'm working as a KP, I'm washing dishes, I'm making sandwiches. I'm serving the blue-suited bankers. I'm working for the banker boys. Maybe one day I'll be a maitre d'. I'll just hate till I lose my spleen. I get romantic looking at the Bellevue estate. Imagine neo-satanic neighbours to hate, itchy feet there regardless. Just stick me in a TARDIS. I'm part smart, part Alan Partridge. It's better to be guarded. And I'm bored of old men talking about unsheathing their sword, the Poetry Cafe. He calls it Poetry Unplugged. No, it's a pay-to-play open mic night. I'm duty bound to applaud. I'm trying to rebrand myself as a nice guy. I'm too much of a hot head to stick with the slap jaw. Those comedians got less dignity than crack whores. Just want to talk to 24-year-old girls whose eyes are bright. I'm stuck with leching men in the local pub in the daytime talking shite. My mouth is loose, my wallet's tight. Fuck it. Phil can have it all. He'll convince himself he's still the nicest when he goes from racking coke to herbs and spices. I await his midlife crisis. He'll do a master's or sign up to ISIS. And nothing is gayer than two straight men who used to be friends, fell out, can't remember what it was about, will always slag each other off, and if they ever ran into each other, without like best mates. Because they've repressed whatever feelings they used to have, and it's back to square one. You can't fall out with an enemy. Yeah, there's not really a way to do it with getting an audience here, is there? Alright, we'll do smart casual and then we'll stop. So usually it's a street performance, you stand here. I won't weep if I run my mouth for now. She'll go to sleep, I'll toss and turn a few more hours. The air is warmer, the wind is colder, the plain sweep clouds, the tap water sour. And this imagined neo-satanic London post-Victoriana. You think back to earlier. Said we meet at the faltering fullback in half an hour and she's 24. Jack Bauer. Defensive with a glancing cut, I'm a silver fox. David Gower, call her a keeper. Man roll now with a hippie shirt that's crisp, fresh and overpriced post-flower power. I've got a blazer in my thick frame specs. Do-do-do-do-do. Austin Powers. She's office student type of apple sours. I've moved on to whiskey sour. We say we like the same bands, but I'm too agreeable to what I see in the Dawn as LCD National, Six Music, White Power. I try to show off about things I don't know about. Schopenhauer, Rutger Hauer. We'll go to the pleasure beach if we stick to fair ground, Blackpool Tower. When we walk to her, she's got the Stroud Green glower. And you need that here these days. City boys on 40k, city girls on 39k, dealers with 2 PAs, hip kids on the minimum wage, convinced their art's the latest craze. The prolonged gap year never pays. For their parents, it's a moral maze. The manic depression in the purple haze, extras in a purple patch. My friends are getting married, I'm semi-detached. She says she's a feminist, but Thatcher's a cunt. Her parents are socialists who want to lock them up young. She had an ex on a register, it turned out he liked to lock him up young. He was an academic, lecturer's a pun. I got a double-barreled surname, my dad was high up in the Green Party once. I'm still in my sophomore slump. Political insights of Forrest Gump. My conscience frets, I can't sleep, I've slept for 2 days straight before. I kick myself out, she shouts, 5 a.m, but it's like my hero Robbie said, no regrets. And I can get called a baby face, act like I've been shown up. Smoke till there are lines on my face, call myself a grown-up. Say my friends abandon me, they don't pick the phone up. Drink till I'm spittling, claim I haven't thrown up. Go to a gym class twice, tell myself I'm toned up. Slag off the whole industry, claim the game is sewn up. See a stage full of hacks, ask why I haven't blown up. Tell a stranger my life story, she's not gonna fix it. Tell an audience my life story, they're not gonna fix it. The best case scenario is that we mark and bricks it. Tell another the next week, take the details and remix it. Tell another the next week, remix it and take the details. Take it, can tell the week, remix details and next and another. I'm at a party, a cousin's engagement party in the daytime. What's that, mate? Am I doing a master's or a BA? We're at grammar school together, avoid each other then, what's changed? You're balding with another on the way, stop talking to me, keep stuff in your face. She's been on a weekend break to Lisbon. I'm at my parents' in an upper class prison with a diagnosis to play the victim. It was 42 degrees due to nuclear fission. I'm at my parents in an upper class prison, diagnosis to play the victim. You're the pre-millennial social schism, I have a mild hint of schizophrenia. I'd rather be at my parents in an upper class prison, diagnosis to play the victim. When I was at that school, with that arsehole, from that grammar school, semi-fictional. I guess I had ADD or ODD or BBC or MP3 because I learned how to count the alphabet backwards. It started off with me just counting my steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Soon the letters came numbers, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, and at 1, A, 4 is D, 30 is M, 8 is A, Z, X, W, V, T, S, R, Q, P, O, N, M, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
Okay, so wait. So if you actually had an affair and he never found out, then that would have been like absolutely fine. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Oh, double standard. So he will never apologize. I would never apologize for it.
On a hill, the drains are overflowing. My Converse overflowing. That lawn needs mowing, hoeing. A broken down car and no longer towing the dirt. Covers nuclear glowing. My Converse are overflowing. I never knew they had holes in. Blame Nike. Politicians coming and going. Commuters toing and froing. Circles and triangles, trick shot, yo-yoing. On a hill, the drains are overflowing. The honeysuckle ICA to be going. Can you hear the Game of Thronesing? The captain of the ship was stowing. Now he's off Ken's bike on a canal boat rowing through the floods in Meadow Hall. And I'm turning into Leonard Cohen on a hill. The drains are overflowing. Commuters coming and going. The party lines were no longer towing. The perennial button in need of sewing. I'm turning into Leonard Cohen. The hatred that we've all been stowing. The party lines were no longer towing. Helicopters over marches, low-hanging Boeings. Bambi's mother has been doing. infinite yo-yoing. The distruths we are allowing, the fundamental truths we're disavowing. On a hill, the drains are overflowing. On a hill, the drains are overflowing. In a square festooned with BV policemen, rebellion's come and gone. Has Nelson lost his hand again? Does Bonaparte get the best of him? Never marching roadshow. I saw it was organised by Manson, edited by Osborne. From code breakers to ultra runners in flat shoes, we salute you. Bring your Fitbit along, get your step count in. From code breakers to ultra runners, from Alan Turing to Jeremy Hunt. From code breakers, those that sterilise them. In flat shoes, we salute you. And on a hill, the drains are overflowing. Where I live on the Bellevue estate is great for London, but for life it grates. It goes. Philip Larkin, neighbours argue about the parking, the homeless barking, Albanians to Bulgarians sparking, the upper class Jews get noise complaints, talking loudly on Saturdays when the Shabbos breaks. Not a shareholder, raise the stakes, gym half an hour a day, fading aches, pack my bag, unpack my skates, see where my fate awaits, a week in the lakes, reasonable rates, wintry March, our city's become a construction site meets a rubbish dump. And on a hill, the drains are overflowing. Every week in a broadsheet, a story about how the British need to work like the Japanese. We already do. Look at the independent shops that survive on your high street. Off-licensed high stores, framing centres, barbers, cafes, open 6 days a week, of course, staff of 2 or 3. Everyone's done. Fucked off to Amazon. I haven't. I'm still with the independent businesses. Have you tried a Turkish breakfast? You ever find an off-licence, like a supermarket inside? A framing shop which has £5 football books and pictures of 60s rock stars, like the best of the Beatles, but you've never heard of. And on the hill, the drains are overflowing. And I've measured out my life in rocky tunes. Millennials beat my generation. Tuition fees expire, it's a free education. The overgrown student types I watch out for. Members of Generation Hogwarts just bounce around London like a pinball. Bounce around London like a pinball. Small talk intimidates and to mingle. Scared of strangers while you're single. STD hypochondria, just a tingle. Your dick and your clit. Tingle, your dick or your clit. Tingle. No one anymore gets shingles. Bounce around like a gimbal. So to Bikram on a thimble. AQI, in a needy tone, hits the eardrum like a hi-hat cymbal. Australian question intonation, your voice goes up at the end of sentences. AQI, Stephen Fry, on QI on Dave, the BBC now pays, on Twitter you're verified. If you want to be Miss Piggy, I won't be Kermit. If you want to get mugged by a 14-year-old, well, you deserve it. These days they call me the hipster hermit. Fly to Peckham on a grime thing. Go to Camden on the smack thing. Being Pete and Amy is the easy thing. They call me the Blakey and Bacon Tree. Try to offend me. I mess with you. The Star of David in the Night Sky, triangles divide like the Batman symbol. Has Nelson lost his hand again? And on a hill, the drains are overflowing. Amelie. Do. Morning.
Vai no cabelo com a coisa. Vamos levar.
Do, do, do. Did you see the stylish kids in the riot, shoveled up like mud? Midnight on fire, one was bleed, truncheons and shields. It's a construction site of a city. Hope stakes are down and the crap prices up. Takes in faces that windows bummed. Building a fucking hotel here. That's disgusting. I used to get job interviews here with like, what was it called? Foreign Ambassador Service or something. It's like old London, they just destroyed it. Over and over again. The Queen went down to Buckingham Palace. Christopher Robin was there without this. Oh, there we go. It's Whitehall there. Let's go there, 'cause it's got a lot of statues. We'll go through St James's Park. There's the ICA there. Had some problems with that art gallery, but that's another story. But these are war rooms, like the war bunkers they built. Because Whitehall is next to Westminster, it's where all the civil servants work. Apart from Portcullis House on the other side, that's the London Eye, which I think now is corporate sponsored. I believe until recently it was the Coca-Cola London Eye, now it's the lastminute.com London Eye. And like, I've never been on it. I just found it so bougie, corporate bougie. This is a city that lockdown ends tomorrow.
It's over. Breaking it home.
Kid took a tumble.
Εντάξει, αυτό δεν μπορώ να το λέω.
A strange picture.
yourself in action. But he's just got this new move. We should just do that move where you go like that. So it's just me. Just show. Oh, go on, go where you go like that. Oh, go on. Do it. Oh.
Oh, she's taken it. They're shoving it in her face.
Yeah.
I always like making a big effort when I see them because I see quite a lot of them.
I know you do, and the children are it's important, you know, and
Alright, I'll walk over to the bridge, see the next spot, and then stop because who needs it, eh? Who needs it? You know, you work hard all your life. Then we'll be walking around with a camera all Sunday. When I were a lad, they'd say to me, Josh, why are you filming us, you pervert? And I'd say, oh, hey, oh, watch your mouth now. Hey, why? I'll give you a firm smack. I got stabilizers in my mind. Stabilizers on my mind. Get wound up, can't unwind. Get hungover from a soda and lime. It's like stabilizers on your bike. Stabilizers on your bike. You used to ride wherever you like, they put stabilizers on your bike. Smallest headache all the time. Smallest headache all the time. Get hungover, soda and lime. Broken by the daily grind. Now you're broken from the daily grind. It's like stabilizers on your bike. French girl from Green Lanes, whose mum slept with Mick Jagger when she was 15, but they don't talk about it because she'd already met the dad. Told me that she took acid as a teenager and it cured her depression, expanded her mind. She mentioned she was depressed in her 20s, but apparently that's irrelevant. But now I'm in my 30s, I just want to contract my mind. I had an expanded mind, I will contract my mind. I went to see an old psych, suggested to me an antipsychotic for a week. Isn't right. Look up symptoms, it says you have to take. Put that side on your bike. You still have to ride wherever you like, so now you're back on the shelf. You need to be yourself. You can't be no one else. Feeling schizophrenic, somewhat academic. Feeling catatonic, hornets in your bonnet. On the borderline, it'll make you feel fine in the sunshine. Don't do drugs, back on the shelf. Don't comb my hair, back on the shelf. I wait until soon for the world. Universal credit, don't go to the 25th. Does credit you, keep the money to yourself. Don't need a shower. For context, last time I was here, I saw 4,000 people and a French kid trying to kick a pigeon I had to shout at. And then, like, he was very receptive to being shouted at. It seemed like he'd got it a lot, but it turns out the city, if not the country, was destroyed, but this spot's got a bit calmer, so we're all good. I'll let you get on.